Welcome to the Tech Talks Daily Podcast, where you can learn and be inspired by real-world examples of how technology is transforming businesses and reshaping industries in a language everyone can understand. Here is your host, Neil C. Hughes.
Welcome back to the Tech Talks Daily Podcast, where I'm keen to share inspirational stories in the tech industry and beyond. And if we have any startup founders listening anywhere in the world, I've got quite a story for you all today, because today's guest is the founder and CEO of a company called Vincit USA. Previously, he has helped the Finnish company to reach 350 employees and make it public on the Nasdaq First North marketplace. And after the IPO, he moved to California from Finland to start Vincit's local subsidiary. Now, during the first 2 years of operations, he's built a team of 30 developers in California, acquired two of the hottest digital branding agencies, XTOPOLY and Devise Interactive, and was even named the 2018 Entrepreneur of the Year. Not to mention the fact that he is one of the few Ironman triathletes who plays pedal guitar on several albums on Spotify. But that's enough spoilers from me. If you would like to find out more about all that and much more, buckle up and hold on tight, because I'm going to beam your ears all the way to California, where today's guest is waiting to share his story. So a massive warm welcome to the show. Can you tell the listeners a little about who you are and what you do?
I'm Ville, and I'm the CEO and founder of Vincit California. And originally, my accent and myself, we are from Finland, where we went public on 2016, and after which I moved to the States to start the US operations for the company, which has since then grown pretty well.
It has. You've been on quite a journey there. And just looking on your website, it states that Vincit is not just another software company, but you restore your faith in the future with human-driven digital transformations. And that's the kind of language that we all need to hear right now. So can you set the scene and tell me a little bit more about how you do just that and the kind of problems that you're solving?
Yes, absolutely. So we are a software company, and you could say we build everything digital. So we design and program software. But I think the most recent example is what happened during the pandemic. And we already saw the retail economy growing during the first quarter of this year. But after that, everything's just skyrocketed across all industries. So the US e-commerce sales will reach almost 800 billion this year, which is over 30% up year on year. So some companies were in a good position with their online stores and direct-to-consumer sales, but that's a minority of the companies. So we are in a great position to help these companies to either improve their online store experience or helping them to move from offline to online. And thinking about real estate during the pandemic, restaurants, and online education, three big areas of our business where we design and do software. And obviously, looking at from the increased traffic point of view, a lot of the stores weren't expecting that. So we are helping companies to scale up and redesign their stores so that the experience is overall better, and we can offer complementing products. For example, if they're buying a laptop, we will offer a monitor, a mouse, and a keyboard to go with it. So I truly believe, and we've seen with the many businesses, this is a great opportunity, and in many ways, the growth and rapid growth of e-commerce and online shopping is a win-win for the retailer. The sales is better. You can sell more products, and to the consumer, you don't really have to go or leave your home, and you have a better experience, whether it's finding products, researching the products on stock, and also the checkout experience.
And there's a big argument that the arrival of COVID this year has acted as a huge digital accelerant, and a lot of businesses are struggling to keep up with the pace. And there has been a lot of talk about the modern tech work culture. So can you tell me a little bit more why in a post-COVID-19 world, it won't be completely remote though?
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't think there is a post-COVID world, to be honest, because we, as human, we cannot inexperience what we have experienced. So the work culture has changed, and we either try to survive or adapt and embrace the change. That's how I see it. And in fact, I believe whatever will come out from this experience will be better than it was before, because employees have more flexibility to choose their work time, location, tools. And I'm saying this because we are individuals with individual needs. So I think the time of the top-down, one-size-fits-all leadership is coming to an end, and we are moving more and more to individual leadership.
And something I feel I've got to mention as we're talking about the subject of work is, can you tell me more about how Vincit became the best place to work in the happiest country in the world? Because that's a great soundbite. But can you tell me more about that?
Yeah, I like the other way you put it. I think this goes back to 2013. So, and we've been around for a while. We are a 13 years old company. So 2013, we used to operate in a model where we still had typical hierarchy in a form of teams, team leaders, middle managers, and top management. And when we surveyed the employee satisfaction with that model, we actually, the leaders, we thought everything's going well. We were growing and we were profitable, but the employees weren't that happy with the structure of many layers and lack of communication between the different levels and between the silos. So we removed the silos and put all the people together, and instead of hierarchy and organization structure, we created functional roles. So in fact, in our company, you may have a functional role that is different tomorrow than it is today. So which creates a lot of opportunity and freedom. So I think a lot of becoming a best place to work boils down to the trust and transparency. So giving the freedom for people to make big decisions and trust them making the right decisions, or equally as right as we would as leaders.
Yeah, and I was also reading how you were removing. You also credited a lot of that to removing middle management, and that made it. Vincit played a big part in becoming Europe's best workplace and Inc.'s best places to work. Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
Yeah. So the whole change in the organization was about removing the middle managers, because typically middle managers, they don't really want to be managers. They in our world, in our business, they are programmers or designers who they love to code or design. And but it's just sort of as part of how we've learned to see the progress on your career. You get appointed with a manager title, and you get a team, and then you suddenly have to be a manager, even though you're a programmer. And so there's really no training to becoming a manager, and that creates a system where you have managers who don't want to be managers, and the team isn't happy either. And I did some research actually after the change. So for the US, because I'm basically, I see myself as a work culture missionary, almost coming from Finland and seeing if things that work in Finland work in the US, and they seem to work pretty well. But in the US, there are 23 million managers currently, which equals one manager to each 4.7 workers, and that's quite a lot. Thinking about 17% of the U.S. workforce is managers, and they receive nearly 30% of the total compensation. So 111 million American workers who are not managers are spending 16% of the time on internal compliance. So only removing that internal compliance and the manager workforce and moving them to more meaningful positions would actually remove annual waste of 9 million worker years, which is $3 trillion in dollars.
And when I was doing a bit of research on you, I also learned that about your belief that the future of industrial and digital transformation is both agile and customer centric. Can you tell me a little bit more about that too?
Yes, absolutely. I think everything is moving to more agile and customer centric because that's the only way we can survive. We don't know the implications and the real impact of, for example, the current pandemic. But what we know is we have to be agile, we have to adapt, and we do have to be customer centric because most of the sales will happen direct to consumer. And for us, for me as a cyclist, the bike shop used to be the human interaction, but now it has to happen more and more digitally. So that's how we see digital transformation in agile and customer-centric world.
So if we have any business leaders or decision makers listening today, what do you think they should be doing to prepare for that more agile and customer-centric world?
Well, I'm thinking about the retail and e-commerce most, but I think what happened, for example, in the past for travel industry, where the security process by taking your shoes off, belt off, jacket off, and getting into a tube and so on, that created a TSA pre-check. So you have a pre-check. And that helps you to get into the plane a little bit faster. So thinking about what's a similar thing for your business in the future, are we getting some pre-checks for COVID discounts or rewards or things like that? I'm just thinking out loud here, but there are a lot of opportunities for different businesses to rethink the way they do business in the chains world, because the world has moved on.
And I've also recently spoken with the government of Estonia about digital citizenship and how tech is completely transforming the small nation. So I know you're obviously from Finland. So can you tell me a little bit more about the tech scene in Finland and how that's thriving right now?
Oh yeah, and that's an interesting question. Both Estonia and Finland, they've been in modernizing and digitalizing their tools and the whole social aspect of it. So basically, I believe the fact you can do almost everything digitally, and me living in the US, I can do most of the things digitally. With Finland is a great thing. And it not only creates trust between the government and the citizens, and having an identity, digital identity, helps to manage my bank. I think it's easier to say what I can't do, and I probably couldn't divorce or get married. I have to pick up my passport, and there are probably a couple of other exceptions, but most things are already digitally enabled.
And what excites you about the future, both for yourself and Vincit and Finland? Is there anything that stands out to you there?
Yeah, I think one thing that came out from the fact that we've been early adopters of the digital transformation has created a very strong pool of excellent programmers and designers in the country. Considering it's only 5.5 million people, is very strong, and that's obviously an opportunity for Vincit overall, and to Finland as well. But like I said, we help customers to move from offline to online, and we help customers to create their direct-to-consumer stores. So there's a great opportunity to for the company in the increased digital world, helping companies and people to manage their online.
And a question I've got to ask, Vincit, where did the name for the business come from? Is there a story there?
It's actually Latin language, and it means to win and conquer. So that's a story. And there's the IT at the end.
Brilliant. And for everyone listening that would like to find out more information about Vincit and the kind of work that you're doing, what's the best way of finding you online and also contacting a member of your team if they've got any questions?
Yes. So our website is vincit.com. That's vincit.com. And you can find my contact information there and a couple of other places to reach out. So that's obviously the best place to go to. So vincit.com.
Well, I love your story and how you've got where you are now. And obviously you've come from Finland and you're now in California. But I think what's most valuable there is that message you left about the future of the industrial and digital transformation and how it's agile and customer centric and how businesses can prepare for that future. Completely priceless. So thank you so much for coming on and sharing that with me today.
Thank you for having me. Have a great day.
What a great story of how Vincit became the best place to work in the world's happiest country in the world. I mean, it's a great soundbite. And I'm curious, do we have any listeners in Finland? According to my world map in Libsyn, which I've just checked, we do. And if you're listening to this episode, I'd love to speak with more of you and learn more about the tech scene in your region. In fact, wherever you listen, I want to put you, your company, your region, or your story on the map. And it's as easy as sending me a quick email, techblogwriter@outlook.com. My website is techblogwriter.co.uk. I want to hear your questions, your stories, and hand this virtual microphone over to you and give you the platforms. That is what this podcast is all about. And maybe we can learn a thing or two together. So if that sounds good to you, send that message in now. That's your true calling. But other than that, a big thank you for listening, and I'll join you again tomorrow. And until next time, don't be a stranger.
Thank you for listening to the Tech Talks Daily Podcast with Neil C. Hughes. Remember, technology works best when it brings people together.